Bend the knee. Follow Mogolis, everybody. This is Don Willie back again with another edition of Ice and Fire Opinions. And this week I am talking to you about everyone's favorite fool, Patchface. So, Patchface is a character we first meet in Clash of Kings, second book. Sometimes I get Clash of Kings and Storm of Swords, the order mixed up for whatever stupid reason in my own head. But he's a character who is very mysterious and still, we have a lot in terms of things that we don't know about him. But he's a very interesting character. He speaks in riddles. And not only does he speak in riddles, but he speaks in prophecy, but the prophecies sound like riddles. And there's still a few things that have to be uncovered that have not been uncovered as of yet about not only his backstory, but I'm not sure if George is going to delve into the backstory, but I think it's more like he is the guy who delivers a lot of foreshadowing, and he's going to be the person that we look at and see, okay, cool, what are the things that we need to look out for in terms of, I don't know, in terms of what will happen next. I mean, you have the Red Wedding, which apparently he predicted, possibly predicting a march of the White Walkers. I'm trying to think what other predictions. You know what? Fuck it, I'm going to the wiki. Going to the wiki to see what he's predicted. So I mean, you got Oh, all right. So he's got the shadows come to dance, shadows come to stay. Many people think that predicted the death of Renly. Let's see here. What else does he got? Under the sea, smoke rises and bubbles. Flames burn green, blue, and black. So, flames burning green, blue, and black. I don't know. To me, that sounds like the dragons. I mean, because Drogon is, shoots black flame. I think Rhaegal shoots green flame, and maybe Viserion shoots blue flame, or maybe it will be blue flame. Sorry, can't talk right now. Blue flame. At some point, I'm not 100% sure. Shout out to the people in the chat right now. Got the Boy Wonder from Toronto. I'll be in Canada next month. In fact, AU Pack Mule. Good sir, I thank you. Let's see here. Also, we have my man Lenny Lopez. Lenny, I'm probably gonna drop by. I don't know, sometime next week if I get the chance. If I'm in Midtown, man. So if you're around 56, man, hit me up. Brendan Parker, what's going on? How you doing? All right. So, and questions will be answered later. So if you have questions, when you see the chat pop up on your screen, that's when you'll know to ask them. All right. So I'm not trying to, not trying to play you or anything. Also, we got DJ, we got Cat, and we got F. Aldabi. And oh yeah, just so everyone knows, this character Patchface was actually suggested by Ion Trone. And yes, that is Montreal. I will be going to. And thank you very much, DJ. All right, so let's get into Patchface a little more now. So, let's see here. You got the whole Fool's Blood Fool's Blood, King's Blood, blood on the mane and thighs. We all know that's alluding to the Red Wedding. Let's see here. Under the sea, the old fish eat the young fish. Up here, the young fish eat the old fish. Old fish eat the young fish. So, look, you know what? I'm wondering if Under the Sea is supposed to be north of the Wall. Because, okay, if you think about something, right? When you talk about young fish eating old fish eating young, you know, or let's see, eat the young fish up here, young fish teach the old fish. I don't know, because I mean, it's like, what in the world does Under the Sea actually mean? Because, you know, there's also the one Under the Sea, the mermen feast on starfish soup, and all serving men are crabs. All serving men are crabs. Yo, man, you know what? This shit is fucking confusing as all hell. I'll be honest with you, man. Like, seriously, this shit is fucking absolutely hilarious because, you know, it makes no sense whatsoever. You know, man. Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But anyway, let's get back to talking about the character. So, you know, we see the character throughout Clash of Kings, Storm of Swords, and A Dance with Dragons. Right? So it's mainly in chapters with Davos, because, you know, it's he's really the only one that we have a POV directly linked to Stannis, you know, where we get to see Patchface. The other time that we get to see him is in a Jon chapter when Stannis is at the wall. I mean, we got a Melisandre chapter, but the Melisandre chapter does not talk really about Patchface. I mean, there's a couple of lines about him, but he's not like in there extensively. And I mean, but the main introduction that we get to him is in the prologue for Clash of Kings. You know, so that was the Crescent chapter, and it was weird because, you know, they talk about him having like the bucket on his head with the antlers, and it's like, all right, well, he's a fool, and you know, we get his backstory where Stannis' father, you know, the was Stephen Baratheon. Stephen Baratheon went to go and look for a wife for Prince Rhaegar. Wasn't able to find a wife, but he wrote to the Baratheon boys and was like, "Hey, you know, I wasn't able to find a wife for Rhaegar, but I'm bringing back a fool. I freed him from slavery, and you know what? I think he can even make Stannis laugh." So finally, you know, Stannis, Renly, and Robert, they're on the beach at Dragonstone. And no, not a Dragonstone, Storm's End in Shipbreaker Bay. And they see the ship sink. They think that everyone is dead. There's bodies washing up for days. And one of the bodies that washes up is Patchface. They think the Patchface is actually dead for a little while until he winds up coughing up seawater. And he's, you know, talking in all these crazy riddles. And he's been doing it for years. And you got to think about it, right? So Patchface, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, but Patchface has been around since Stannis, Robert, and Renly were kids, right? So, if I'm not mistaken, I think he got brought to Yeah, he got brought to Westeros, and I think he was like maybe 13 or something like that. So at the time, he may have actually, like, he may actually be older than Stannis when we see him in the books. And let me just look this up real quick because I want to try to get this. Bay. Um. You know, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't actually say how old he is. Not in the wiki. It doesn't say how old he was at the time that Stefan brought him over. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was kind of crazy that you have this guy, because we mainly hear about him running around with Shireen, and he's the court jester. And I'm like, isn't he a little old to be a court jester? You know, because what Stannis is in his like mid 30s. I think he's around like maybe 34, 34, 35, somewhere around there. And if Patchface if Patchface is as old as I'm thinking he is, Patchface is like damn near 40. He might be like, somewhere between 36 and 38, if I'm not mistaken. I could be totally wrong, but, when Stefan Baratheon died, I know Renly was supposed to have been a baby. Robert may have been like 13, and maybe Stannis was like 10 or something like that. It was kind of crazy, and I think that Patchface was supposed to be around the same age as Robert. So I don't know. I could totally be wrong with that one. All right, so don't quote me on it. I don't have all the facts right now, and even looking at the wiki, it doesn't necessarily give me the facts that I'm looking for. But that might be because they don't exist. So, um, but the thing that strikes me the most about him is that you have a lot of people who in this particular world don't really believe in magic at the time where magic is really being pushed to the forefront. So when they see a guy like Patchface, when he speaks in these riddles, it just looks like the ramblings of an idiot, right? And no one in the world of Ice and Fire is actually putting all this stuff together. So, the whole shadows come to dance. Okay, it just sounds like a crazy song. No one's putting it together. Well, shoot, you figure maybe Davos should have picked up on that. Maybe Stannis, because they've heard the song. And then the whole thing about the Red Wedding. Um, I don't know if anyone picked up on that one, even though it's not that it's obvious. Uh, but us as the readers, we get to look at it and break it down and try to figure out, okay, well, what does this all mean? So that part of it is cool, even though we don't always get to, even though we don't always get to like we don't always get to analyze it and use it to predict anything accurately because of the way that it's written. It's written in such a cryptic fashion that we can't necessarily posit it all out. And he's a character who was cut from the show, which is why I don't have a show picture of him. But we're given a great description, and pretty much the artist who drew the picture that's on screen right now did a great rendition of Patchface. Um, and let me just make sure I credit the artist who did this work, because you know I'm big on making sure that people get the credit that they deserve, and that people aren't out there stealing other people's stuff and not giving them credit. So this is Morden 909, sorry, 999. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I think I might have credited the wrong person. See, it's funny because on the wiki it has like two different people. So there's Sajima at fanpop.com, and then there's Morden999. I don't know if it's the same person or whatever. Yeah, so sorry about that if I did not credit the right person. It is definitely not on purpose. The way this is laid out is kind of confusing. But one thing that's cool though in the show is that one thing that's cool in the show is, even though we didn't get Patchface, we actually got one of his songs. And if you're not paying attention, or if you only watch the show, you would never even know about it. Shireen sings one of the songs in season 2, not episode 10, because that was the one after Blackwater. It was either season 2, like episode 5, or maybe season 3, episode 5. I know it's one of the ones. Pardon me. Something just flew my eye. I know it's one of the ones where Stannis goes to see Shireen, and he's kind of feeling bad about the way he's treated her, because it's like, all right, well, damn, my daughter's here and I haven't my daughter's here and I haven't done anything with her, and I need to be a better father to her, etc., etc. So that's what we get with Shireen in that particular instance, where she sings. Hold on, let me see which particular one it is. I think it's the crow under the sea. The crows are white as snow. I know. Oh. Because I know it's one. Because there's only. Let's see here. Let's see the bubbles rise. Yeah, I gotta go back and see exactly which one. It is, because I see that there are 3 of them that use specifically. I know. Oh. Now, I don't remember exactly which one from the show it is. But I thought that was kind of cool that they threw that in there. And the funny thing is, so like, I started watching the show before I read the books, right? So watching the show, again, if you're only a show watcher, it's something that you wouldn't pick up on. But you read the books, you sit there, you analyze it, you're trying to figure out what the fuck is Patchface talking about, and then you go back and you watch the show, and it's like, holy shit, yo, they had that shit in there. I thought they totally forgot about Patchface and cut out everything about him. But that was a nice little Easter egg. And look, you know how I criticize Dan and Dave for when they don't put certain things in. There were a lot of people who had issues with Patchface not being in the show. Personally, him not being in the show, look, until he does something in the books that is super significant, that's super significant, that it's like, oh damn, how could you leave that out? Then I'm fine with them cutting the character if he's not 100% necessary. Oh, and I see someone in the chat, Joe Swag. Joe Swag actually knows which one it is. Let's see. Always let's see, almost some there. Damn, can't fucking talk, can't read right now. Sorry, it's been a long day, folks. Let's see. It's always summer under the sea. I know. Oh. The birds have scales and the fish take wing. I know. Oh. Yeah, so I wasn't sure which one it was. Like I said, I just know that it was the I know. Oh. One of those. Um. Yeah. So I'm going back now. I'm glad that they put that in there. That was actually a cool Easter egg for them to have. So, um, congrats to them for actually putting that in there and not just letting Patchface fall to the wayside. And we're still waiting to see, because Melisandre is actually scared of Patchface. Melisandre, if I'm not mistaken, wanted him to be burned because she's like, I sense evil around him, the great other. And, there's been many speculations from many different people as to who he's working for. Is he working for the Drowned God? Is he working for the Storm God? Is he working for the great other? Is he possibly working for, a god that's from Essos, since that's where he came from? And since George has said that he is not going to actually uh, present us with an actual god on page, it is definitely hard to know exactly who he is working for, if he is working for anyone at all. It's like, is he being sent visions from Blood Raven or something like that? Has he been Hodored? Because you got to think about it. If someone is dead for 3 days, or supposedly dead for 3 days and comes back, they might be a changed person, especially if they happen to see their death. I mean, we just don't know, you know. Unfortunately, I'm like Sway right now. I don't have the answers. So, oh, okay, and yeah, let's see here. Civilization X just put up a quote in the chat room and said, "The creature is dangerous. Many a time I have glimpsed him in my flames. Sometimes there are skulls about him, and his lips are red with blood." And that is from Melisandre. Um, so it's like, what does that mean? But then again, look, hold on. Does it really mean anything? This is Melisandre we're talking about here. you know, oh my god. Yeah, Melisandre is about as accurate as a one-eyed archer with a patch over his good eye. So, I mean, can we really trust anything that Melisandre is talking about? Seriously, you know, I would say no. I don't think there's anything we can trust about Melisandre doing her predictions whatsoever. So, and shout out to my man Frank from Way Off Topic Radio. Yeah, make sure to check out Way Off Topic Radio on either Podbean or iTunes. They are doing some great work over there. Friend of the channel. All right. Yeah. So I want to go through the things that we haven't like 100% figured out yet in terms of his rhymes or riddles or whatever. So we're gonna skip Shadows Come to Dance. We're gonna skip the whole Fool's Blood. Let's see. In the Dark, the Dead are dancing. I know. I don't know, man. Let's see. The Crow. Under the sea, the crows are white as snow. I know. So, if I had to guess about the Under the Sea, and I'm thinking like does under the sea mean beyond the wall, or does that mean, about winter? Because if you think about winter, um if you think about winter, winter obviously turns everything white when it's snowing, right? But also, north of the wall, it's pretty much always winter. So if you have, let's say you have someone going north of the wall, it's a crow. It's like the crows are white as snow. Um, I know, and all that, right? So I'm trying to posit this out here. Could this be talking about? Could this be talking about? Uh, Damn. Come on, help me out here. Could this be him talking about Night's Watch, like former Night's Watch members who have died north of the wall, coming back as whites? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. It sounds like the crow, under the sea. The crows are as white as snow. Again, for some reason, I'm thinking under the sea means north of the wall. I have nothing to back this up, but I'm just looking at like what else could under the sea mean, because under the sea obviously does not really mean under the sea. And then, the other thing about under the sea, old fish eat the young fish. Up here, young fish teach the old fish. Old fish eat the young fish. Young fish teach the old fish. That could be a reference to cannibals. I'm not 100% sure. It could be reference to cannibals. Or and then south of the wall, younger people are teaching older people new. Man, dude, okay, I'm lost. I'm fucking lost. I'm not even gonna ramble on about that one. Under the sea, smoke rises and bubbles, and flames burn green, blue, and black. Under the sea. Okay, you know what? Fuck that, George. God damn it, man. Yeah, George needs to really stop fucking around because this shit is not fair. What is it? It's been like 6 years, still no sign of the winds of winter, and people are like, "Oh, yeah, we're." People are like, George is never gonna put out the winds of winter, etc., etc. And he's gonna wind up dying. Listen, man, I've said this many times, and peep the facts on this one if you want to. Go look at some celebrities from New Jersey. People from New Jersey just don't fucking die, before they hit like their late 80s and early 90s and shit, man. Unless they get into some tragic accident, they don't fucking die early, So George has plenty of time to finish the series, but he really needs to stop fucking with people and finish it because, god damn it, I'm sick and tired of trying to figure out, um, trying to figure out, what this Patchface shit means, especially since we have no new material. The fact that we have no new material, especially even remotely related to Patchface, uh, it's too difficult to try to figure out like where does this all line up? Like where, I'm not gonna be one of those dudes with the damn conspiracy charts sitting there with the fucking push pins and fucking yarn wrapped around. Like, yes, and if you follow the red line here, and this point goes to this point over here, and then back over here. No. That's not gonna be me. So George, God damn it, will you just finish the fucking books? Seriously. And you know what? I'm gonna take it to the chat now. Yeah, man, I'm gonna take it to the chat as I always do. If you guys got questions, put them up and let's see what you guys want to talk about here, all right? Oh man. And my man Frank from Way Off Topic Radio says, nope, grandma lived to be 102. Frank is from New Jersey, so Oh man. Let's see here. Shout out to Jake Cruz and Sean Land, and also Tyrion Tyrion Jr. Landstark, who hopped up in the chat. Oh man, you know what, yo, Frank is crazy. He asks, "How do you have crab soup under the sea, like a SpongeBob thing?" Probably. I couldn't see. No, but you know what? No. George wrote that before there was SpongeBob SquarePants. So yeah, somehow I doubt that that's what the deal is. Shout out to Alicia Kingston, who just showed up, and plus my man LT Giles. Sorry, Sir LT Giles. Remember, he is a knight. Let's call him by his proper title. Okay, let's see here. So Brendan Parker asked, what could the name Patchface mean aside from his tattoos? Alright, so here's the thing, right? If George is trying to have some type of deeper meaning, if anything, I would think, alright, so you think Patchface, he's got the red and green checkerboard. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize my volume was low. Also, Civilization X and Down the Kraken Wit right here. I sound a little better now? Hopefully I am. But like I was saying, Patchface, to me, if you think about a checkerboard is kind of fragmented, right? And the name Patchface could be symbolic of him having a fragmented mind. If you think about it, the fact that he's called Patchface, and look at the picture. You have the chess and checkerboard where you can only make certain kinds of moves to certain different places. And that's kind of how the mind is set up to a certain extent. Because if you think about it, when someone has brain damage, it's not easy for that person to recover bits of memory at times, certain motor functions, and it's one of those things where even with doctors, when they're doing brain surgery, it's pretty much been discovered that no two brains are alike. Brains are like fingerprints. So it's not something where memory is stored in the same place in every single human being's mind. There are certain sections of the mind that it's like, okay, we know that that these particular parts control speech, or these particular parts control motor function, or whatever may may excuse me, whatever it may have you. But it's something where even though there's a general section, there's still slivers of the brain where it's different for different people. So, where in one person you might have in the front of the particular part of the brain that controls motor functions, if you tap one place, it's them twitching their left finger. On another person in that same place, it could be the big toe on your right foot, or your eye can start twitching or something like that. That's why, like, with brain surgeons, they have to really be careful, because since they do know that, like with brain surgery, they have to like really literally go picking around people's brains, kind of even before they operate, and say, okay, what happens when I do this? What happens when I do this? What happens when I do that? And it's fragmented. So if you think about Patchface, his whole being is fragmented by the trauma that he had. And just having that happen to him, I think that, not only is it represented in his name, but also the pattern on his face, and also the way that he speaks, and how he strings things together. So unfortunately, because of him having that fragmented state of mind, people look at him and they're just like, oh, well, nah, it's him, he's just a fool. Yeah. So they don't take stock into what he's saying. But because we are, invested in this series and trying to figure out what it's all about, we do. All right. So I hope that answered the question. I know I got a little kind of convoluted there, but I hope that it answered the question with regards to if Patchface could possibly have another meaning. Shout out to some people who just joined me. Lav. We got Kat, who sends greetings from Panama. One of these days, I gotta visit Panama. Gotta get to Central and South America and all that stuff. Let's see. LT wants to know what flavor I'm vaping. This is some peanut butter marshmallow something or other. I didn't even realize that I got this on my hand, but I haven't been vaping on screen. So, let's see. We got any more questions? Because I don't want to ramble. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to catch up. This will be about the part where people start clicking off the video when they're watching on the playback. Like, no, he's not even saying anything. Nobody's asking any questions. God damn it. What the hell was that? Fuck it, while I'm waiting, blow a cloud. Oh yeah, I want to give a big shout out to my man AU Pack Mule, for hooking me up with some gear. Yeah, he hooked me up with some gear. Hopefully everything's sounding right. And yeah, Kat, that would be absolutely fabulous. If if not if but when I do visit Panama, I will make sure to hit you up for a tour. All right, so from Joe Swag says, being that Patchface drowned, can we find any more connections to Ironborn characters, plots, or futures? I mean, look, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna find out that one of these things that has not yet been revealed has something to do with Euron Greyjoy, because they're setting up Euron to be the big bad. Yeah, they're setting up Euron to be the big bad. You have to pardon me. I'm like parched. Today was a super long day. It was like almost 100 degrees in New York. Which something I'm not really used to. So yeah, I would not be surprised if there's something about Euron here. And all right, let's take a look at some of these things again. And you know what? Going back to the one about the crow, could he be talking about the crow's eye? Um, because okay, so I've heard people say that Euron could be in league with the White Walkers, or at least the Great Other, right? So if Euron goes north of the Wall, could he become, like the Night's King or something like that from the show? Because if you went north of the Wall, made a pact with the others or something like that, and got turned into the Night's King, that would turn him into a White Crow, because he is a crow's eye. So, you know, that could be that yeah, man. That could be something there in terms of connection to the Ironborn plot. That's me coming off the dome. There was no forethought into that. But thank you, Joe Swag, for that question. Absolutely spectacular question. Okay, so from Sir LT Giles. What do you think about my theory that when they try to kill Shireen in the books, that Patchface won't stand by and do it because of his connection to her? Interesting theory. I'm not sure that I buy into it, only because it's not that we haven't necessarily seen Patchface be we haven't seen him necessarily be protective of Shireen. He's there, um he's there, he interacts with Shireen, he follows her around whenever she calls for him. But it's not like since we don't have a Shireen chapter or Patchface chapter, we don't get to see the two of them interact, off like outside of when they're around other adults or whatever. So I mean, like, it's I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I don't know. I just, it's a hard one for me to get into, only because we haven't seen what the dynamic is between those two when there's no one else around, or if someone were to try and let's say if someone were to try and do something to Shireen, like, we haven't seen him had to step up. So yeah, I mean, interesting theory. Like I said, I'm not sure that I'm into it though. Let's see, from F. Aldabi. Why is he not in the show? Because Dan and Dave. Nah, listen, I'm not gonna because that's a little too easy. That's that's a little dismissive. Um, he may just not be as important to the overall plot. His thing might just be to foreshadow certain things. It might just be, the to yeah, it might just be a thing where it's like, all right, well, I want to put in these little Easter eggs for things that are going to happen in the future, but without giving them away and making them obvious. How do I do this? And Patchface might be the character that just kind of facilitates that. So it's like, all right, well, what would his purpose be in the show? Like if they can give that to another character, or if they can chop that out, or not chop it out, but if they can, have it go in between different characters, then then we don't really need Patchface. Like, for example, like I said, they gave Shireen one of his songs. They could have easily had uh like Simon Silvertongue or somebody else sing like the song about the red wedding. They could easily had other characters do the things that Patchface has done so far. So they didn't necessarily need him. And yeah, back to my man Frank from way off topic. Yeah, man. Rest in peace to Chester from Linkin Park. Linkin Park, one of my favorite groups from like the early 2000s. I kind of fell off of them a bit when they switched up their sound. But like the first like three albums were my shit. So yeah, man. Unfortunate thing, but yeah, you already know what it is, man. All right, before I get totally depressed, let's move on. Um, Jake, I still actually do have the green screen. Um, I'm making some adjustments. I'm gonna get back to doing the green screen stuff, probably in the next couple of weeks. I do have a couple of requests that I need to catch up on, and before people think that I'm totally ignoring them, um, I'm going to get back to those. Yeah, there's been a lot of kind of background stuff that's been happening that I've been having to do that have made making difficult that have made making videos a little more difficult uh sometimes. Technical issues, things that I've been trying to work out, and it's like, damn it, I spent all this money on this computer. Why is this all happening right now? So, I, you know, but don't worry, the the green screen videos are coming back, and they will be coming back with Avengers. I got a lot of stuff that I'm working on, that things that I've done before that will be coming back. All right. Let's see. From Cat back to our main topic. Do you think that the Hound and the Brotherhood without banners will go straight to Eastwatch by the Sea, or could they stop by Winterfell on the way? Um. Okay. Uh. So could he stop by Winterfell on the way? See, here's the thing, right? So when it comes to the Hound and the Brotherhood without banners, that all kind of also ties into Littlefinger and Sansa, and possibly Arya as well. So Arya seems to be going south, which to me means that she's not going to run into the Brotherhood without banners. Um, so I don't think Arya play, because a lot of people have been like, "Oh, Arya is going to kill Littlefinger this year." If Littlefinger left the dagger at King's Landing, because we've seen photos of Arya with the dagger, we don't know that Littlefinger has the dagger in his possession at this time. I think I saw a picture with her of her finding the dagger under her bed somewhere, which I'm thinking is going to be in King's Landing. So people are like, "Oh, Littlefinger is going to get killed by Arya." I don't think that's going to happen. Now, what I think needs to happen for Littlefinger to die, and I know this is kind of getting off topic a little bit, but I think that Littlefinger. No, in fact, you know what? Forget about Littlefinger dying. Let's just go back to will the Hound stop at Winterfell? I don't know if he's going to make a stop at Winterfell. I think on the way there he will possibly run into Jon Snow. Um, yeah, I think he will possibly run into Jon Snow on the way to the Wall, or if not on the way to the Wall, at the Wall. Because I'm expecting the Hound and the Brotherhood without banners to be part of Jon's ranging. I mean, we've already seen Beric Dondarrion north of the Wall, so that means the Hound is most likely going to be north of the Wall as well, along with Thoros, Amir, etc., etc. So I think the Hound, I think the Brotherhood without banners goes. Yeah, all right. So yeah, to be more concise, I think the Brotherhood without banners goes straight to Eastwatch by the sea. Uh, Jon goes to Eastwatch, tells about his mission to go north to go face off against the Night's King and the Whites, the White Walkers, and whatever. And then that's how we, get the whole thing with all of them traveling up there. All right, let's see here. So F.L. Dobby wants me to talk a little bit about Carl Tanner. Carl fucking Tanner. Fucking legend of Jin Ali. Yo, man, listen, that what's funny? So the actor who plays him, he's in a lot of different things. Like he's in Dark Knight Rises. He was in Pacific Rim. Uh, and he's one of those character actors. He's one of those dudes that he's not going to be the leading man in the movie, but when he's in a movie or a TV show, he is definitely memorable. So that is, is Carl Tanner, fucking legend of Jin Ali. Uh, yeah, I'm trying to remember what was the one who was like, somebody gave me if somebody gives me a man's name that man dies or some shit like that. Yeah, like just talk about grandiose and like egotistical and whatever may have you. I mean, like, look, the dude had balls. You know, like Craster is talking about he's a godly man, and he's like, "Yo, fucking bastard." He was like, "What did you say?" He said, "Your daughter fucking wildling bastard." Yo, he was bugging. He was absolutely tripping, and like I can't fault him. I can't fault him. You know what? I'll do one about Carl Tanner. All right, I'll do one of these about Carl Tanner one day. We can sit back and we talk about the fucking legend of Jin Ali. Oh man, oh man. All right, let's see here. So from Frank, way off topic, Rado. Could Patchface be George R. R. Martin in the books? Uh, kinda Stephen. Let's see. I'm guessing you mean like kind of like Stephen King does. See, I don't know what character Stephen King plays in his own books. Because I mean, honestly, I've never read any Stephen King books. I've watched a lot of the movies, but I haven't read the actual books. So, um, but no, if George R. R. Martin were anybody in the books, he'd either be Tyrion. Let's see, Tyrion. There's one other one that he was saying that. Oh, Tyrion or Sam. He'd be one of those two. And if anything, I would think more Sam than Tyrion. All right, see you later, Alicia. Yeah, I'm gonna end this in a few more minutes. Uh, okay. So Brandon Parker says that. Sorry, Brendan Parker says that he's Pennywise. Stephen King is Pennywise. He's the damn clown from It. Really, I didn't know that was supposed to be Stephen King. That is interesting to say the least. Okay, let's see here. So Frank, no, you said that last question was from Pez. No, Davos is not Patchface in the show. Um, show, yeah, Davos is he's still Davos. He's still Davos. Oh, hey, it's King McKay. What's going on, man? All the way from the future. Um, yeah, but no, Davos is Davos. Like I said, they've given like I'm trying to let's see. I'm trying to see here if there's anything in the wiki about things that he's done or things that they've given to other characters in the show. Because I'll be honest with you, the only thing that I definitely know that they've given like a part two in terms of like they gave a certain part of what he did to someone else was that particular song with Shireen. So, like I said, other than the foreshadowing stuff, there isn't a particular need for Patchface in the show. I don't know why the hell. Maybe it's because I need to really be hydrated more. But yeah. Look, there isn't much more I can say about Patchface in particular because there's still a lot more that we need to learn about him. And until we get another book or at least another chapter with Patchface, Patchface in it, there's a lot that we're just not going to know. So it's yeah, this guy is hard to get a read on. Very, very hard to get a read on. Pardon me for a moment. Yeah. But look, you know what? We've gone on for about an hour here. And, as always on Thursdays especially, I have a bunch of work that I still need to get finished. So I'm going to have to call this one a wrap. And it's funny because, tonight, Small Council actually went on. So they're probably still on if you want to catch James Johnson and crew. Shout out to James Johnson, Tony Teflon, all the rest. All right. Yeah. look, I'll be back next week with another one of these. Saturday. Saturday. So for those of you who are watching later on, hopefully if you watch this before Saturday or, whenever, uh, the Hypes Watch, on the Hypes Watch channel, we will be doing a discussion of death and resurrection in A Song of Ice and Fire. We've foregone the reread for this month to do this particular discussion, mainly for the fact that George has made the revelation that we have fire whites, which I don't know, might have to come up with a different name because fire white sounds, I don't know, sounds a little cheesy. Anyway, so check us out if you are watching this before Saturday. If you're watching it now, make sure to check us out Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. It will be the Hypes Watch featuring Tony Teflon and Ideas of Ice and Fire. So we will be having that nice little discussion about death and resurrection in A Song of Ice and Fire. Also, of course, after the show on Sunday, around 10:15, unless YouTube screws up like it did last week, catch the Hypes Watch for our after show breakdown. Next week, of course, again, I will have another edition of Will It Happen in the Books on Wednesday night or early Thursday morning. And of course, next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will have another one of these Ice and Fire opinions. So, I'd like to thank everyone who came out to watch me live today, and I would definitely like to thank all of you who will be watching me in the future. And definitely also thank you to all the new subscribers that I've been getting recently. Yeah, I turned the notifications back on for that one, so I know when new people subscribe. But make sure to hit your notification button so this way you'll know when I upload a new video. And as always, rate, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, come back for more. That has been my time, and this is Don Willie saying, Valor Iris.